Hello and welcome to another video, and anyone that's watched my channel for any length of time will know that I'm generally speaking a pretty positive guy, right? Like I actively avoid negativity, like I don't like being negative, like I hate the thought of making this kind of video, and you know, I'm really sorry that I have to do that. If you go back and look at any of my older videos, like there is literally nothing negative, there's no like drama, you won't find any like, you know, arguments with other YouTubers or companies. Like I make a real big concerted effort to avoid anything along those lines. But I think like everyone has a line, and for me, like recently that line has been massively crossed, and so you know, I'm sorry, but I feel like I have no choice but to make this video. So let's start at the beginning, right? 3 weeks ago I think it was, I was contacted by Gymshark. Okay, now anyone that knows me like knows I love the gym. Like the gym, training, lifting weights is an enormous part of my life, like one of the biggest parts of my life. But what a lot of you might not know is that I also love sharks. Like they're my favorite animal, like by a mile. I've always dreamt of some kind of job where I could pursue those two things, like, you know, simultaneously. So when I got a call from like Gymshark, you can imagine my excitement, right? Like how many people get to combine their two ultimate passions in one job at the same time. Fast forward about a week and they invited me up to their HQ. Now, I didn't think twice, you know, literally the second I put the phone down, I booked my train tickets. Now, admittedly, and in hindsight, this is probably my mistake, I didn't do any research into the company, but like I assumed the name Gymshark was pretty self-explanatory, right? Like, have you seen their logo? So I jumped on the train and I headed up there ridiculously excited. Like I felt like, it sounds dramatic, but I felt like my life was basically been leading up to this moment. We got to the HQ, we went in through the main doors, and like it was just a reception. Now, I'm gonna be honest, at this point alarm bells started ringing, but I thought, you know what, give them a chance. Like they're not gonna keep sharks like in reception, they're gonna be out back somewhere. Like I imagine, you know, the health and safety regulations for keeping sharks must be a total nightmare, right? So we go through again and it's like office space, but you know, it's literally just offices, right? No sharks to be seen. We continue the tour, we get into a canteen, literally just a canteen. We carry on, we get to a studio, like there's no shark, you know, not even like a little like mako shark, you know, literally nothing. Now again, and I'm sorry if I'm labouring the point, but I want to remind you, their name is Gymshark. Like there wasn't even a friggin' gym there. You lied to me! Gymshark, more like no shark. What are you wearing?
Gymshark.
What? We've established we hate them. I did the like kick the bag. Do you know what? Okay, we're in, and that was a joke, right? Well, I mean, technically it was actually factually accurate in terms of like there not being any sharks at Gymshark HQ, but in terms of me being upset, I was being stupid, I was being funny, right? I'd like to think that like the vast majority of you realise I was joking after like 20, maybe 30 seconds at a push, but if you're sat there right now thinking, what joke? Then, I mean, I would question how you negotiate everyday tasks and probably suggest you stop watching this video and enroll on some kind of educational based course, like, you know, school or something. Anyway, at this point I'm going to stop being a goon and I'm going to get serious. Now first things first, it's just started raining, so if you can hear precipitation, raindrops falling on my window, I apologise, but blame, I don't know, like God, depending on your belief system. But yeah, the main topic is that yes, I'm now officially sponsored by Gymshark. I'm now a Gymshark athlete. Pretty friggin' sick, right? I've been in negotiations for a few weeks, everything is now sorted, it's now in place, and I'm pretty excited. I'm like buzzing, to be fair. Now, what that means is obviously, firstly, pretty sick, right? I get to wear sick Gymshark clothes like this one. And secondly, it means that I now have a Gymshark link. Now, I'm not gonna make this into like a shopping video, like go and buy, you know, Gymshark stuff. But what I would say is that their stuff is, you know, incredible. It's really, really high quality. Been wearing it for a week or so now. And secondly, I would say that if you want to buy anything from Gymshark, the link to the website is at the top of my description. I'd really appreciate if you use that. It's a really easy way for you to support me, right? Like it takes you like an extra 2 seconds and it helps me out. It'll be like, right, let's say you're going to your friend's house, right, and there are 2 roads and they take exactly the same amount of time, right, and your grandma says, if you go on the road on the right, that's gonna like really, really help me out, right? You're not gonna be like, no grandma, you know, F you, I'm gonna go that road. You're gonna go, okay grandma, no problem, I'm gonna go there, right? So see me as your grandma and see that second road as my Gymshark link. That's a pretty strange analogy, but yeah, like I said, it's just an easy way for you to help me out. It costs you nothing and you'll be doing me a favour. Plus, and this is the last Gymshark plug, they're about to have a friggin' enormous sale, their only sale of the whole year for the Black Friday week, right? So go on the link, check out the stuff on the website, pick some things out that you like, and then be ready for Monday. I believe it's Monday. I mean, I'm sure it will say it there. Should probably know this, to be fair. And then as soon as the sale starts, you can go and pick them up, because the stuff goes ridiculously quickly because it's like hugely discounted. It's discounted up to like 70%, so it won't be there for very long. So go and pick out some things you like, and then when you're good to go and the Black Friday sale begins, fill your boots. Right, now the shameless plug is out of the way, let's move on. Now, I don't want this video to be like a look at me, I'm sponsored by Gymshark video. I want you to be able to actually take something away from it. So what I figured I would quickly do now is give you some tips on how to get sponsored, right? I've been doing YouTube and Instagram, or YouTube particularly, for like over 5 years now, and I've picked up some pretty cool sponsorships, obviously, like Gymshark. And so I think I've got some kind of thoughts on that topic that I could share with you, that for anyone out there who is looking to grow on Instagram and YouTube, looking to, you know, potentially make it a career or at least like a nice income, how you can go about picking up sponsorships like I have. Now, before I get into it, a quick disclaimer. The best way to get sponsored, to get any kind of recognition on YouTube and Instagram, any kind of social media, is to be a sick guy, right? Or a sick person making awesome content, right? That's like by far the most important thing. Like, if you're a 75 stone man who uploads videos of himself playing like Tetris on the Game Boy, then probably nothing I can do to help you. But for the vast majority of people who, like I said, are looking to grow on social media and like potentially make it into some kind of revenue stream, then I think these tips are really going to help you out. So tip number one is going to be, to a certain extent, you don't ask, you don't get, right? This goes against what a lot of people will tell you and what you will hear quite a lot on the internet, because people will say things like, oh, you know, you shouldn't go looking for things, you should just kind of do your own thing and things will come to you. Like, that's true to an extent. Like, if you blow up and you get enormous and you got friggin' 10 million, you know, followers, and yes, people will come to you, but when you're trying to grow, if you're making awesome content, the market is saturated, right? So there are lots of people out there doing the same thing. You know, you might be better than them, but it's hard for people to notice you. So particularly when you are starting out, if you're backing your content, if you think your content's good, then go and ask people. Like, you know, in my case, like Gymshark came to me, right? But lots of the sponsors I'm working with now, or I've worked with previously, I've approached them. Like, don't be afraid to go and ask. Like, you know, don't take the mick. Like, if you've got 3 subscribers and you're, you know, emailing Nike asking for a contract, like, you know, don't be an idiot. But if it's going to be mutually beneficial, and like I said, if you back your content, if you genuinely believe you are making good stuff and you warrant a particular deal, then don't be afraid to go and ask, because it might be as simple as the person, you know, the company haven't noticed you, and by you putting yourself out there, by you approaching them, they think, do you know what, hang on, this guy's really good, this person's really good, you know, we can work on something. So that is how I've got, like I said, a lot of my deals in the past, and even companies that I'm still working with to this day, like quite big companies, I've been the one to go out and approach them first. Tip number 2, and this slightly contradicts what I've just spoken about, but focus on your content and on being yourself. Now, I say being yourself, you know, I'm assuming you're going to be funny and or entertaining. You know, if you're the most boring person in the world, then definitely don't be yourself, you know, but assuming you are, you know, you have something about you, then just be yourself, because the second you try and put on an act, people are going to pick up on that straight away. Now, I know I just said, you know, about approaching companies. Now, definitely you should still be doing that, but what has to come first, what has to be your priority, is you and the content you are putting out. You know, ultimately, you can approach all the companies in the world, but if you and your brand suck, then no one's gonna listen to you. So make sure first and foremost that the content you are producing is good and it's consistently good. Make sure every video, every post, everything you put out there is something you are proud of and something that reflects you well. Something I kind of like to focus on myself, and something that I've put in place over the last year that I think has really helped me is, like, I imagine that every video I upload is going to be the first video, you know, someone's going to see of me, and I want that video to portray me really well. I got in a bit of a rut a couple of years ago where I was just kind of uploading for the sake of uploading, and I was putting videos on that I wasn't really proud. You know, now every video I put out there, like, I am happy for anyone to watch it. I would actively go and show someone because I'm proud of that content that I've made. So make sure the content you are putting out, first and foremost, is really good quality, and like I said, you're doing it consistently. And when that is the case, then, you know, put yourself out there and start approaching people. And the third and final tip is going to be to value yourself and your brand. Right? This is so important. I can't stress this enough, because particularly when you're starting out, I can understand how you're, you know, there's a sense of desperation. Like, I've experienced myself where, you know, I didn't believe, you know, YouTube would become my job, but I kind of in the back of my mind thought it would be amazing if it did. And when kind of little small sponsorship opportunities started arising, I was so excited and exuberant, I would just kind of jump at the chance without really thinking, hang on a minute, like, is this a fair reflection of where I am? Like, you know, do I warrant more than this? And a lot of the time I did, but because it was just, you know, someone was saying, here is X amount of money, I thought, that's amazing, I'm getting money for this, just say yes straight away. Now, the truth is that I think a lot of the time, brands will actually respect you more if you value what you're doing. If you say, you know, hang on a minute, you know, I appreciate the offer, but I believe I'm worth this much. You know, I believe that if I was to settle for that offer, I would be selling myself short. I think brands respect that more because they see you as, you know, yeah, that kind of entity. You know, you have pride in what you're doing. I think that's really important. If you sell yourself short, then firstly, you know, obviously you're missing out on potential income, but also you're setting the bar there. You know, if you set the bar here, then you can consistently uphold that, and I think people, like I said, I think people ultimately respect that. And that is where I'm going to end the video, because quite frankly, I'm bored of talking, and secondly, I live on the beach. I can literally see the sea through my window. I've got my Speedos on, and I'm pretty sure there's a shark out there with my name on it. So I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I hope you found it informative and taken something from it. If you have, please drop it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow.